Hi Moonbeams, it's Nikki T here at Moonchild Tarot, and I've got my monthly wrap up. June has really dragged. Let's look at what decks I've been using, how my practice is going, and what I'm planning to carry forward into July. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first deck I've been using this month is the Bonefire Tarot. I just recently got this. I think I got it in May. Oh, excuse the camera. Apologies. Just readjusting my positioning then has knocked the table. So I've yet to make a bag for this. I do need to get some orange wool. I can go to the next town and they've got a market, but I've got to be in the mood to kind of go and get it and everything like that. I'm just getting wool for one tarot bag seems a bit ridiculous, but I was thinking about this orange and maybe a really dark blue. So yeah, I'm liking the kind of idea of blue and orange with this. I have enjoyed this. I've been using it mainly for my weekly pulls. I think just because it's a little bit deeper and it kind of wants you to kind of go in and look at all the imagery and everything. It is very busy. I don't think I mean, I have been using this as a daily reader as well, but I think it more lends itself to kind of deeper reflective readings and spending the time on it. And often I haven't got the brain capacity or the time to kind of spend with it. I do really like it. The guidebook is immense. It's got a glossary at the back, which I find that's really easy. I think, you know, tarot deck guidebooks can be a lot, you know, for somebody who I'm neurodivergent, but I'm also dyslexic as well. That can be very overwhelming if you've got a massive chunk of text that you've got to read through. That can be very overwhelming. And I think this guidebook did really well. Is they've got their massive book chunks of text, but then at the back, they've got a glossary. And you just, you know, if you're being drawn to the clouds, for example, it will kind of give you some keywords to do with that. I do love this Four of Coins. I've got a thing about the Four of Coins, mainly because I'm a very frugal, like, person who, you know, tries to look after what they've got and their resources and make the most out of, you know, what they've got and everything. But just that everything's around him, like he's got this abundance, he's saving it, he's, you know, he's locking it in it, and the Four of Pentacles doesn't necessarily have to be you're being a Scrooge, you know. I like this version of the card. Yeah, so I've enjoyed doing it, reading this. It's been my monthly. It's very bright energy. I might bring this back kind of say August or something, because I don't know whether I'm actually fully done with this yet. I'm very seasonal, so using this kind of in December, November, I probably wouldn't unless I was kind of called to do it. But yeah, so this was a Bonefire Tarot, and I've been doing, with my practice, I've been doing a weekly reading, and I've actually been keeping the cards up on my altar. So I'm just trying to find out where I've put them. And I've just dropped a load of cards all over the floor. Typical Nikki fashion, clumsy as anything. Right, so I've been, the Magician came out this week. I have had him propped up at my altar to remind me of that Magician energy. I've also had my oracles up as well, but I will talk about that in a little bit. So this week has been asking me to be gracious, show some grace, And then I've had like Earthworm and Time. So I will talk about that in a moment, but I'm just going to stop briefly so I can tidy up the massive mess that I've just made before I ding any of my cards by rolling over them. Hey, I'm back. That was a split second for you, but it was quite a while for me because I had to count all of these. I've learned now that if I drop a deck on the floor, I've got to count all the cards again to make sure that I've got them all, because I have found cards like snuck in crevices and things like that before. So yeah, so the next deck that I used in June was the Kawaii Tarot. And I love this. This month has really changed my opinion about this deck. And I think it came around just as I needed it. This is very cute, very kind of simple, you know, not threatening. And I think I needed that. I've been a little bit in my own head recently, you know, with a lot of like things like imposter syndrome and things like that. I've been really in my head. There's been a lot going on. As I said, June has been a blooming long month for me. I had my daughter's birthday and I had to kind of get that sorted out and ferry kids to trampoline places and McDonald's. Oh my lord, being neurodivergent and going into a McDonald's is just like, I'm sorry, it's fresh hell. So on all of that, so that was the middle of the month. Then I've had physio, I've had other appointments. There's been a lot of appointments and a lot of things this month, and it's felt like it's dragged. It's felt like it's been a long month, and we've had the heat wave, and again that made it worse because we were just wishing that it was kind of over. I know, like, the temperatures here, we're up north, so we're a bit cooler. I think the highest we got was 34. Oh my lord, but it was, and the humidity, like we get a lot of humidity and our houses are just not designed. They're designed to trap heat. They're not designed to cope with weather like this. So I was out in my garden trying to water my plants, bless it, at like 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, and I think I needed something like where I could just take the message. It was nice, it was cute, it was kind, and then just move on with my day. I think I needed a little bit of comfort. It's a bit like them decks that, you know, decks for tender times. I think I kind of needed that with this, but don't discount this as just a cute and fluffy reader. There is like a lot to it, a lot that I've noticed that I hadn't really noticed before with this, like loads of little details. The way that they've put this together is really like the crab with his little treasure chest, and he's all happy there, and the starfish is coming in with another cup and stuff. Like, yeah, it's just really well thought out, and like that Five of Cups, that really does encapsulate this kind of Five of Cups feeling, but not in a heavy, you know, not in a you know, dark grief way. But it really does encapsulate it in such a much more gentle way. I had this week, and again, yeah, I've been that cat. I've been sat there being a bit moany, and you know, things have been a bit miserable. And yeah, I can just see myself as this cat a couple of times this week. So this has really held space for me. I did think this was going to be like an inner child deck, and maybe it does link into my inner child, but I think I would just use it as a general reader. I just think it's very, it is a genius deck, the way that it's done. I just think it's very clever. And it's, you know, cute and sweet, and I think this is about as close as I get to a nature deck, the cute and sweet characters like this, because oh well, I've got crow decks, but I don't think that counts. Yeah, so yeah, I love this. It's just been very tender, it's been very gentle, and it's been kind of what I've needed for this month in terms of tarot. I kept reaching for this a lot over the bone stone because I think I just needed a sweet, cute message and then move on. It needed to hold space for me. You know, the bone stone will come out again when I'm in the same, you know, the good brain capacity to be able to do some deep work. Now, the oracle that I used was the Goddess of the Sun oracle by Stacey DeMarco. I love Stacey DeMarco's decks. I just think they've just got an energy about them that I click with, and I really, really do like them. I mean, I love that card. Like, I'm a, you know, people have been watching a while know that I'm a bit of a Marvel fan. That gives me kind of Dark Phoenix vibes, you know what I mean? Like Jean Grey and stuff, and she was one of my favourites as a kid. And I just like the brightness of this. Now, I've been using this for my weeklies, as I said. So what I would do is I would pull first from this. So this week is about grace. I would keep this in the middle, and then I will pick my other oracle around it. This pulled out two. Usually I would get just one card, and then a tarot would go with it kind of there. So I know there's not a lot of space here, but you get what I mean. So that would be my kind of weekly reading. And I've just started doing that, and I've really enjoyed it, because what I was doing, I was pulling 3 tarot. I was doing overview of the week, strength, challenges, and I was keeping it at that, and then maybe putting a oracle with it. But I think with the oracle, I think it just gives it a more of a general feel, like grace. I'm not completely converted into oracles yet, but the idea of kind of what is grace, how can I show grace this week, how can I show grace to myself, how can I show grace to others, how can I be gracious, like it gave so much more possibilities kind of here, and it's really, really worked. So yeah, so this I might pop this out again, as I said, because it is a very summery feeling deck. It is the sun. So I might keep this out if I feel kind of like it's calling me. I know it does have, like, it's got Yule there. But I do feel like this is a more kind of summery deck here. And I've just been going with the keywords and the image, and it's a very kind of easy read in terms of an oracle there. Now, the next one I've been using is one that I've had, and again, I've not used for a while, which is the... Oh, I forgot the name. Oh, I'm not going to edit this out, because this is my life. This is my... I will completely... The Green Witch. Yeah, the Green Witch Oracle. There are 2, aren't there? There's this Green Witch and there's another Green Witch. I do actually want that Green Witch one. So this week I pulled 2 cards came out, because, you know, they like to talk a lot. So I got Earthworm. So I was like, why am I ruminating? I have ruminated a bit this week. You know, where's the clarity? Where do I need the clarity? How can I push through and break through this hard, solid ground like the earthworm? And then I've had time being self-aware, having that presence. Where can I bring myself back to my body? Because I have been, and you know, this month, like, people talk about, and I do struggle, like, in January and February with that kind of winter, you know, winter depression, blues and things. But I think with the summer, I think that can be, because a lot of things step up, there's a lot of things going on. and I struggle with that because I have to pace myself. So yeah, so dropping into that present moment, I've been going back into my garden. I neglected my garden half of last year and kind of most of, oh no, all of last year, and kind of part of this year. But I've started kind of just pulling out a few weeds as we go and things like that and trying to get it cleared up again. And that's really, really helped because I've not been able to go on my walks and going with nature, kind of taking myself into the garden and spending that time in that space has kind of helped me bring into the present. So yeah, so I've been using this, the Green Witch, and I do love it. I think it's got the like herb or item, and then it's got quite a few keywords, and I like to just focus on one. I do think I might trim the borders of this just because I think there's a bit too much like space. I do like it, but I don't know. I do feel like maybe it would be easier. I don't mind this shuffle. This size is quite okay for me to shuffle, like the standard oracle size. But anything bigger and I would struggle. But I don't know. I think maybe if it was a little smaller, if I cut around, what would it do to the back? You see, it would take that black border off. I don't know. The jury is out about whether I'm modding that. I have done some mods this month, so I will link that video in the comments or the description down below. But yeah, this has been a nice, again, nice gentle energy. It's not too confronting. It's kind of held that space there for me this month. Now, another deck I've used a couple of times is the Shadows We Cast. I think everyone's seen this on YouTube. Oh, I've just realised I got some cards stuck in there. I think I've made the mistake of putting the book in first. It is beautiful. It is lovely. I did a spiritual reading with this. Is on my community. I did a spiritual reading with this, and I think it's kind of got that. It does feel like a spiritual kind of, when you're in a spiritual kind of funk or something, it does kind of hold that space. I think this is a deck. I think that this might read better for others than for myself, if you get what I mean. I have done 2 readings to 2 beautiful friends, and they've been fantastic. I've got loads out of it. I really kind of, it worked and everything. With the readings with myself, I'm not quite there yet. I don't know whether it's kind of, I've got that deepness yet. I do struggle shuffling this. I don't know why. I think because I pull for jumpers. Now, just typical. The camera, you've got the camera on, and now it's going to prove me a fool. It felt really clumpy. Yeah, there it goes. It feels a little bit clumpy in terms, and that's probably because it's decent cardstock, and I'm not used to. I'm a mass market queen. I'm not used to kind of decent cardstock, but it's getting there. It's getting better, and I love that. I love the edging. It is a beautiful deck. I don't regret buying it. I think it is beautiful. I do think when it calls, it will be fantastic. So I've used it a couple of times. I do think at the moment, with the headspace I'm in, it's reading better for others than it is reading for me, but it will come about. I've also used I'm not going to show this, the Pocket Unknown, because I bought it and I just had to read it. I did a really good reading on a really deep kind of wound that had been there for quite a while and had been like festering. And it gave me a little bit of kind of closure and clarity, and I think, yeah, it's such a wonderful deck. I've also used the Zombie Tarot as well. That has been drawing me in because of the sense of humour, because of the, I think the need to, if I need a message, I need it with a little bit of a sense of humour attached, so that it's not too triggering, if you get what I mean. And I've just loved it. This is a very used, banged up kind of copy. When I got, I might edge it. I'm thinking of like a sludge green. Yeah, I'm just thinking, because I think zombies, I think of that kind of toxic, sludgy, maybe like a weird, it's shouting lime, but like a weird kind of limey yellow. I don't know. But it's got a sense of humour, this, like the fact that the devil is the cigarette machine and stuff. Yeah. And I think at the beginning of the month, this was coming out quite a lot. And I think I needed it. And then I moved on to the Kawaii Tarot, which was a little bit more gentle. But usually I will stick with my chosen deck unless I'm struggling with it. I won't change my deck up. I have been using this and the Wild Unknown because I bought them just at the beginning of June, and the same with the Shadows We Cast. I started using it and then I did a reading and I was really confused with it, and I just thought, oh, I'm gonna have to use it a little bit more because I don't want to like leave this till the winter. I do want to kind of give it a go, but it's growing on me. It is growing on me. Now let's move on to the decks I'm going to be using in July. So the first deck that I am going to use this month is the deck that I've just modded. This is the Goddess of Love Tarot, and I've edged it in this blue. I love it. I just think it makes it pop. It gives it a little bit of an edge. I've not done it perfectly. I've, got one of the cards has got I dropped and there was water on the floor and it got all fluffy and it's bled and stuff. But you know what I mean? It's not going anywhere. I've got to be careful with this one in terms of showing any Babylons or bazookas or whatever you want to call them. Mammary glands, the correct, term. Yeah, so I'm going to use that whoa, yes, they're all together at the same time. I'm going to use this for this month. I do think I need a bit of, this is loving, soft, feminine. I think I need that at the moment. And maybe I need to kind of step in a little bit of, nurturing that kind of, I've wallowed in that feeling with the Kawaii Tarot. Now I think I need to kind of start pushing forward and doing things, and I do really, really like this deck and I've just not used it enough. So I will be using this, and I think it has got very, very much summer vibes to it. I do think I do need to step back and do a little bit of work on building my confidence again, because I feel like my confidence is knocked and stuff, and it's me, it's in my own head. It's not anything kind of that's happened or like that. I just get in my head a lot. I feel like this is the card that I've damaged, so it got a bit wet down the side, so you can see the blue has, but I actually quite like that blue kind of tinge in it. I did, yeah, you can see it on the back there as well. I did start this with an alcohol marker. Oh, blooming heck. I did start this with a pro marker. If anybody knows about markers, like pro markers are a bit like Copics. but cheaper, much cheaper. And I started and it was kind of bleeding through a little bit, and I was like, no. So I used a Tombow pen, which was it's kind of, it's done the same thing, but it's not. The only way it's bled through is because of my dodgy edging. But I like it. I do think when I cut this, I do think some of the borders are a bit weird, because I have trimmed this using the lines, but whereas you can see some, I don't know, you'll see in the video, I measured it all up and everything, but sometimes it was going over the line and cutting into the image, and sometimes it was way out. So I don't know whether this kind of formatting is actually, you know what I mean, correct or something. But yeah, so this is a Goddess of Love, so I think I'm going to be using this definitely for a little bit to kind of put that love into myself there. And yeah, so this is going on my desk because it'll sit here. It'll be going on my desk for July. Now the next deck is a pip deck. You could say that this is very pippy as well. It has got a very element of pip about it, but less so than this. This is the Ink and Inkspiration. I always struggle with that title. The only downside about this, I love this deck, the only downside about it is the thick cardboardy cardstock. It can be a bit of a, it is a chunky, it is a bit of a thick deck. It is mass market. It's kind of got that Marseille vibes, but it's got clues in it to help you, like we've got 2 of coins and we've got the balancing of the scales. It's got clues in there to make it kind of easier to read, so to speak. I'm all fingers and thumbs. Like you've got the arrows going and the target, the bullseye. Like, it's really, really clever how they've weaved a lot of the meaning into the cards. And I like this as opposed to, I'm going to be controversial here, I like this as opposed to a modern a traditional Marseille. I'm not a fan of traditional decks. We all know I have one Rider-Waite-Smith and I don't really read with it. I have one Marseille. I've got that as for study purposes, as you saw in I think I did a haul there, or one of my videos I mentioned it. But I really do like this, and I think this is perfect. This is my blunt deck. It likes to kind of give me the message, move on. It can be quite cutting at times, or very, I love that death card. It can be very cutting. I love that devil. Love a devil card because it's a Capricorn, and I am a Capricorn sun. Yeah, but it can be quite cutting. But where it needs to be, it does tell you the truth. It's a bit Queen of Swordsy. It does tell you the truth, but doesn't do it in a kind of brutal way, if you know what I mean. And it's very direct. It will give you a direct answer and then kind of move on and move forward. So yeah, like the 6 of coins, like reciprocation, building with the kind of, that looks like the Freemasons thing. It's got clues in there, so I think it's really, really easy if you're wanting to go into that kind of avenue of pip decks, but not have completely just 4 wands. It gives you a bit of a clue to it. I was thinking, I don't think I would trim this. I do like the border with this. I do like it. I think I might, because it's not so much the width, I think I might edge it in. I was thinking a bright yellow, because there is a lot of golds and yellows within it. That I think if I did it like a yellow, it would work. It's finding a colour that would match in with this red. I don't want to edge all my decks in red. Or yeah, maybe you've got that green there. I was thinking green when I first thought of this. I did think of a nice kind of green, greeny blue kind of colour, or a green like that, like a lime green. But this is turning into a deck mod video. Yeah, I was thinking about that colour. I will wait. I will see what it kind of takes me. But I do love this. I'm never getting rid of this. I don't think I'm going to trim it, because I do feel like, although it is a bit of a chunk to shuffle, I do feel like the border just works with this one. Yeah, so this is the Ink and Inkspiration deck. That is going to be my second tarot deck. Now, moving on to the Oracle, we've got this one in this nice bag that I made. I need to, I think I ran out of wool, or I need to kind of find a way of popping that in. But this is the Tell Me You Love Me Oracle. Yes, I think this is mainly designed for love readings. I have to be careful again because some of the images. But I did a reading, a self-love reading for myself, and I got this card. And oh my lord, it really did ring true. I was just laughing. Justice, law, protection. It's the comments at the bottom. A small amount of justice is better than a great deal of injustice. And that really got me kind of, yeah. I love that. I'm not a fan of older kind of decks where it's collaged with, and not to be negative or whatever, the decks that I'm showing might not tickle your pickle, but I don't get on with like older artwork being reused in tarot. A kind of that collage thing. However, I think with this, the way that it's been added to, and things like the tattoos and stuff like that, I do love it. I just think it gives it a fresh, more modern kind of perspective on it. And yeah, I would show. And it's kind of beautiful. It's got that, that beauty there. With the flowers and how they've added the flowers. So I do really like this. I just think they've done a really, really good job. And this is kind of the most like old Victorian-y kind of vintage feel that we would, you would get with me. There. Just that, the hand, generosity, kindness, compassion. If you took the tattoos off, it would just be a hand. And I just feel like it really does speak to me. And the message is really good. And yes, some of them are geared towards kind of love and relationships. But I do think like this is beautiful. I just do think I like the black background with it. I just think the messages ring true normally anyway. It's not just kind of love readings or anything like that. And I definitely, as I'm trying to work on my self-love, I love this card. Trying to work on my self-love, I think this would really, really help. I love this guy in this card, like with the hand is like, it's like, oh, the audacity. Yeah, it's just his facial expression and everything. Yeah, help, support, ground it. You know what I mean? Me ask for help? Never. Yeah, it just, I just love it. I just do really, really like it. And it's the one that's kind of drawn me in. So I'm going to be using this to pull a deck, pull a card for the week. And that'll be my kind of overarching theme of the week going forward. Now, I am coupling that with a bit of an odd choice, but it's been calling me for a couple of days now, and it's my Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle. And again, I have to be careful with the I don't want the algorithm picking up the Babylons and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm trying to find as many euphemisms for the female chesticle area. Yeah, so this has really been calling me, and I feel like I want to start delving into kind of fairy, into more kind of fairy fae leanings. So, and this has got the most amazing guidebook with all lore and story and everything with it. I did use this for about 2 months. I was picking a card a day and I was writing about it to learn the deck because I really wanted to learn the deck. I found that it doesn't mess around, this deck. It will spurt out the same cards if you're not listening. It will keep spurting out the same cards. So I kind of put it away for a little bit and had a little bit of a break with it. And now I think I'm going to pick it up and have this. I'm going to pick a Tell Me You Love Me card for my overarching theme. I'm going to pick a fairy to focus on through the week. And then I'm going to pick some tarot with it as well. And just keep it at that, because we want to keep it. Oh, I've got to be careful now. I think we've got to keep it simple. I've got to keep it simple just because my head is not in the game for doing big, long readings. Yeah, so the fairies want me to do some work at the moment. I don't think I'm going to edge this because, yeah, this deck, funnily enough, I was considering riffle shuffle in this deck, and I got the feeling that it doesn't want to be riffle shuffled at all. So I'm not going to riffle shuffle it. I'm not going to edge it. I'm just going to keep it how it is. This was an absolute steal. I managed to get it. The box is really battered to this, but I managed to get it really, really reasonable on secondhand, and it's kind of gone up now. I think a lot in price. I don't know what it is. I go on secondhand sites quite a lot, and I do look for, if I want a deck and I know I want a deck, I will look firstly if I can get it secondhand, because partly it saves money. Secondly, I feel like it's kind of less wasteful in terms of you're taking somebody else's deck that they might have like thrown away or whatever, or stuff like that, and kind of giving it, new love. I feel like it's rescuing. It's almost like I rescued this deck, and kind of gives it that little, personifying my decks, like they're a rescue project. But I've noticed that the prices of everything, because the prices of decks have shot up, like the prices of decks just in general mass market has seemed to really, really fly. I was looking at the new Abigail Larson deck, and I was thinking of putting it on pre-order already. And I said to hubby, I was like, it's £32. it's like, and that's mass market, and you're just like, I can remember getting my Wildwood and it was £20 and thinking that was a lot, or it was a little over, I think, £20. And you just think, how is the prices skyrocketed? And that has happened in, I think, the like resale market. Another thing that I hate, because I go on these resale sites quite a lot and everything, the amount of fake decks on these sites is absolutely flipping ridiculous, and it really annoys me. I had a deck pop up that I had on my wish list, and it popped up for a really good price. And rather than get it straight away, because I knew that wasn't a fake, rather than get it straight away, I ummed and ahed, and it went within about 10 minutes because it was a good deal. And I was regretful. And then the same deck popped up, and I thought, oh, that's only £1 or £2 more than the other one was. Looked at it was a fake, and it really, really annoys me. And people are like selling it like it's real, and and they might not know, but yeah, this doesn't have a guidebook, this has a QR code that you can use, and blah 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 and stuff, and it's like, it's a fake, love. It's a fake, love. QR codes are a big giveaway. They've even, what I've noticed about fake decks as well, they've even started to be clever, and they've even started putting the like publisher's name. I saw a Fournier deck that I thought, oh, that doesn't look like fake. And then when I looked at it, I thought, hang about, there's no barcode. So now what you have to look for, you don't just have to look for the fact that the publisher won't be mentioned on the deck, which now they are, because they're getting very sophisticated and knowing to try and dupe you. You've got to, and some of them are printing guidebooks as well. Some of them are actually printing out very cheap guidebooks, because that was a big clue that it was a fake, that there was no guidebook. So some of them are printing out really cheap guide, and I know a little white book is quite cheap anyway, but, even worse. But they're also putting the publishers' names on it. And I think the one big clue now is, if I see a QR code, that's it, I'm out. But if it doesn't have a guidebook, I question it and have a Google and find out whether it has got a guidebook or not. But now it is whether it's got a barcode. So whether it's got like the barcode, I'm just trying to think on here, like this has got a barcode. This has got a barcode. So, even like they've even started making like 2-part boxes, because people were wising up to the tuck box. This is Nova Monday's wonderful Ajar Oracle. And yeah, so always try and see, and if in doubt, message that person and say, look, can you take me a picture of the barcode? And if they can't, then just, walk away and everything. And there was a few, yeah, and people wanting to pay, near to Amazon prices for a deck that they've bought, and yeah, they've not used it because they've just opened it, but somebody was selling it. Oh, I'm selling it £2 cheaper than Amazon. Oh god, I'm getting on my soapbox now. And then you had to add the postage on top of it, so it worked out more. Oh, anyway, that is that's a bit of probably a 4 of Pentacles grumpy old moan there. But forgive me, yeah, the prices. I shouldn't complain about the price of decks. I am very fortunate. I am very privileged to have the decks I have. I have near enough about 50. I am so privileged to have them. If I, didn't buy any more decks, I would be great and happy and satisfied. I know that there's a lot of talk at the moment about, FOMO and You know, the idea that the same decks are being shown and people, you know, wanting them and like feeling like they're getting them to feel like part of the community and stuff like that. And everything, you know, this consumerist kind of questioning coming back in. I just say, you know, I'm happy to be part of the community. Even if I'd had a couple of decks, I would still be here. I don't have a lot of space, so I can't add very much more to my collection anyway, and that would mean some would have to go out. I'm very blessed to be where I am. I just notice these things. I notice the prices going up. I notice that the you know, scammers are being a bit more clever with their trying to sell you fake decks. And for anybody, you know, who's watching, you know, these fake decks that you can get on, you know, AliExpress, whatever, all these places, or there are some actual sellers, you know, witchy shops and things selling these decks. Just think that that money is not going to the creator. That artist has toiled over that deck and is not getting a cent out of your money. And you could say that with the used market. I am buying a deck and that's not going into the publisher, but originally it did go into the, you know, it did go into the publisher and things like that. And like the Abigail Larson deck, I will probably buy full price. As much as I don't like Llewellyn decks, as much as their cardstock sucks, as much as a company they've been a bit shady, I will probably buy that to support because it's an artist I really like. Anyway, I have been rambling, so let's get on to the practice of it all. You'll have to excuse if you can hear like wind. It's currently very windy and stormy here. I have closed the window, but it seems to keep coming in. So this has been my month in tarot. As you can see, I have had a heck of a lot of major arcana cards this month. It's been one of those months. I have pulled some oracles like here and there. I have got some days mixed up. Where did I? Oh yeah, you can tell sometimes when my brain, I get like brain fog very badly, that I colour the wrong thing in. So I automatically, because I had every single day of that week was a major arcana card, I automatically went to colour the Two of Pentacles in purple because that's the colour I use for the majors. I've had quite a few there, so it's been quite a pentacle. It's been quite a few pentacles, as well as a lot of major arcana. Eight of Cups is haunting me this week. I'm having to emotionally like let go of something. The Three of Swords have been a kind of big figure coming in, and then I've started doing the oracles there at the side with my tarot, because usually I would do an overview with tarot, a challenge, a strength and a challenge. I'm feeling like pulling the oracles and maybe I will keep to an overview, a strength and a challenge with oracle, and then pull a tarot card to kind of bring it up. My card of the month has been the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles, and I think that has really, really fit this month. It has been quite an anxious, kind of worrying a bit of month. I've been in my head. Them swords have really been digging kind of in. The Knight of Pentacles, I think there's that worry about the slow progress and moving forward and things like that. I love the Knight of Pentacles, but sometimes I can feel like, is going slow the best option? Or is it ideal to kind of, you know, keep pushing out things and stuff like that? Like, yeah, it's been a bit of a debate with my YouTube this month about, is doing one video a week enough, or do I want to do more? And it's been that kind of question. I always, you know, think, well, and let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you like that I post at the same time on the same day, and you know, it's once a week or whatever? And I know there's so many YouTubers putting so many tarot tubers putting so much content out, it can be really, really hard to keep up. So yeah, maybe it is just stick to once a week, and maybe do the odd, you know, when I feel like I need to, or when I feel like I want to do the odd, I don't know. But yeah, because I do want to make a community. I want lots of people. I want lots of people sitting at my table for lunch. You know, think about the big lunch room of Tarot Tube. I would love lots of people sitting on my tarot table, being part of my community. So this has been my weeks. As you can see, I commandeered an extra page, and I just wrote initial thoughts. Week 3, I just didn't have the head to write anything, so I written the cards down. Week 5, I've kind of, well, it's only 2 days, I've not done yet, but yeah, this works for me currently. I am going to, and I have, yeah, I did start writing quite a few things. I did a new moon reading. Don't usually do that, but I thought that was quite good. I was going to do a full moon reading, but the full moon, I think, is the, oh yeah, and I did some YouTube videos, things there. So yeah, I've filled it up a little bit, but I'm not being too kind of precious. My tarot journal, I did my self-love read in, I'm just going to say, I did my self-love read in here. Excuse the really dodgy handwriting. And then the last message I kind of got was, this is really strange, when I was doing the reading, get a haircut. Nikki, get a haircut. You haven't had a haircut in over a year. You need to get a haircut. This is a funny how, you know, the woo-woo comes in sometimes. Yeah, so yeah, this has been my practice. It's been working well. I think next year I'm going to possibly change the way I do things, because I do love this. I love this, but I also like having that space, but not committing to a full page, you know, taking it like week by week. So having a bit more of a fluid system, and that's going to take some prep for me to do, but it's going to be worth it, if you know what I mean. I think it'll work with my practice a lot better. But at the moment, I'm not buying a new planner just to kind of, that would be wasteful. I'm not buying a new planner till December, and I will go through this and I will use this up. But yeah, definitely it's been working for me. As I said, I've got my monthlies here all written. I need to write about the 9 of Swords, but I've got them here. I don't white it out. I haven't just got the time. So it can just say expenses or whatever. You'd know what I mean. I just scribbled over it. You know, this is if you worry about your journals being messy or not beautiful and not pretty and not decorated enough and whatever. This is your response to, you know, say it might not be as bad as mine, because yeah, mine is a bit of a mess, but it's my mess and I like it. So that is the month of June booted out of the window. And, you know, with an epic heat wave of colossus proportion. And then we're moving into July. I've got 3 weeks of the kids being at school. And then I've got the kids for 6 weeks. That's going to be a joy. That's going to be a pleasure. It's going to be great thinking about what to do with them. Can you tell? I am delighted. I'm going to have a holiday with that though as well. So Mr. T will be there for a week to kind of help with things, and I'm so looking forward to going crystal shop shopping. I'm going to go to the crystal shops. I'm going to buy myself a crystal because that's what we do when we go on holiday to Whitby. I buy myself a crystal. I'm going to try and pick up some things to go on my table because, you know, we need more shells. We need more pieces of rock. We need more pieces of rock. We need more little bits to adorn my area. But anyway, I will leave it at that. Thank you for sticking with me to the end. You might be like, I made it to the end of Nikki's video with a big ramble. I hope you're doing well, and the last thing for me to say is thank you to anybody who watches. I do really appreciate you. I am so grateful. I'm so thankful. And yeah, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And with that, I'm going to wish you an absolutely amazing week. See you later, my moonbeams.